All right, guys, my name is Tim. I am the event director of Metcon Rush, here to bring our intermediate men and women's teams their event breakdown and flow for the weekend. So off the bat, just gonna, obviously you guys have seen this, but the event 1 for the men is event 3 for the women. And then event 1 for the men. So yeah, again, event 1 for the men is event 3 for the women, and event 1 for the women is event 3 for the men. So the way I'm gonna do this real quick is we're just gonna obviously just address this workout for both the men and women, just to kind of consolidate time on the video. So I will reference the women's weights and whatnot for this, and then the same thing goes for when we get to the event 2 for the, event 3 across the board for like what this workout is. Just gonna kind of reference it as the same, even though you guys are obviously doing them at different times. The goal was to separate the men, have the men on one floor and the women on the other, just so we keep the barbells and the weights, the interchange a lot easier, a lot more seamless versus having to take barbells on, barbells out, so on and so forth. So that's why we did that. But so if you see like in the heat times and stuff like that on the platform, it only allows me to do so much on that platform. But so when you indicate like your event 1 and your heat time, obviously it's not the same event, but it does indicate what floor you're on, and obviously those correlates with your workouts, your scorecards, and obviously with the scoring table, they know what event is what. So again, I'm just gonna kind of break this down together so it's easier and faster. The first question I had a lot was, what is a rec bag? This is a rec bag right here. It'll be loaded with your sand inserts to make the weight that you need. So again, for the men, for this one, it's 75 pounds, and for the women, it's 50 pounds. And we'll have those inserts in there. Both the men and women will have their bags. You'll clean it to your shoulders, and then you guys will basically synchronize lunge with that weight. And all we're looking for is that the hips are fully extended at the same time for that synchronization. So maybe one person's knee touches faster than the other on the ground's fine. The extension is what we're looking for as far as the full range of motion and the synchronization of the movement with the athletes as a dual lunge. Right, so 3, 2, 1, go. You guys will start at the finish mat. You'll lunge down together to the rig. Once you get there, you have 50 wall ball shots. You guys can interchange as much as you want there. You do not have to tag in and out. You can stand close to your partners, make sure that you're not interfering with the judging as far as giving them access to view, and make sure that they can do things they need to do to get the correct range of motion and enforcement, right? So 50 wall balls right below parallel, make contact with the correct height, which is 10-foot target for the men, 9 for the women. That ball will be 20 pounds for the men and 14 for the ladies. Right, then you move your pull-ups, right? Again, you can change out as much as you want, just stay off the side, make sure you're safe. Chin above the bar, full lock at the bottom position of that pull-up. Is the range of motion we're looking for both the men and women. Once you approach your bar, it will be sideways on the floor. You'll rotate it inward. You'll do your 20 power cleans. Elbows are through the barbell, knees and hips are fully extended. Your partner can stay behind you, right? When you're doing the power cleans, but you can't like have it face to face. The judge will be in front of you, so they'll be needing that space to kind of watch, but you guys can kind of go behind each other and move in and out as much as you need. And then you roll your bar back, put it back to where it was. You have your sandbag, your rec bag, I should say. You're gonna lunge down, lunge back for 100 total feet. When you get back, you have 50 wall ball shots again. Now we have 50 toes to the bar. We're looking for the feet to make contact with the bar in between the hands at the same time for full range of motion. At the count, again, you guys can break it up however you want. At that point, when you get back to your bar, you guys can either load the weight for this round, either after you finish your first round of 20 power cleans, or if any point in time when you get back after your lunge, like say I'm doing my wall balls, my partner can go over and strap those plates on if they want to, so that when we get there, they're already loaded. It's really your choice. But no one's loading these plates for you guys, you do it yourself. The weight now will go from 155 to 175 for the men, right? And the women's weight for that first round, I believe was 95 pounds, let me just double check. I'm sorry, it's 105. So women's weight was 105 to start with, and then their last weight will be 115, right? So that'll be the women's weight to start that round. Once you complete those 20 power cleans, you'll rotate the bar back. You guys pick up your sandbag, your rec bags, I apologize, and you'll lunge together down to the finish. Once you guys cross that 50-foot mark, you can drop the bags, and then you'll cross the finish line, and that'll be your time for that workout, the 15-minute cap to get that done. Right, that'll complete that workout. So again, that is the standards for the men and women for that workout. I think the most questions I had for that event was, what is a rec bag? What are we looking for as far as the dual? And again, it's just the extension of the hips are locked out for that to count. And then is my partner near me? Do I have to tag them in and out? Again, your partners will be with you the entire time. You do not have to tag anybody in and out. Just kind of go back and forth as much as you want, breaking up as you wish. That's your choice. All right, so that'll be event 1 for the men and event 3 for the women. I'm gonna skip this real quick and go to the run real quick. We have a run. All men and all women will do this run together. You guys, once you finish your first event respectively, you'll meet up at a certain time. We'll give you guys an idea when that's gonna happen here this week, but we'll give you guys some time to meet up with the crew that is running the event for our run. They'll give you guys both bibs. Both the partners will have bibs. One athlete will have the shoe timer on their foot. So when you guys are running, you guys will hold a rope together, run together, and then when the person who has that shoe timer on crosses the finish line, that is when your time will be recorded. Right, so be mindful of that when you're running, to remember who has that on their foot so that they cross over first. As far as the distance, it's 1.8 miles, so basically it's 3 loops, so 0.6 miles per loop, and you guys will run that loop 3 times. I will provide that layout for you guys here soon as well with a post. And you guys will have like delineators, and you'll have tape that'll mark off pretty much where you're supposed to run, so it's gonna be pretty obvious for the most part where you're going. And then we'll have staff out there as well. We'll have water if you guys need it periodically, throughout the run. If you guys need any water, if you want to carry your own water, you can do that as well. When you finish, we do have locker rooms, so if you guys want to, in the college, if you want to get showers, or you're welcome to change, obviously, wherever you need to in the facility after you get done with the run. Otherwise, it shouldn't be too bad this weekend. I'm looking for some cooler, lower 80s, which will be nice. Not quite as hot. You guys can wear earbuds if you want to. It's your choice. It's up to you. All right, but that'll be our run sequence for event 2 for all men and women for the intermediate division. When you finish, you guys will get some rest. You'll come back inside. At this point, the women will now do that very first event. We talked about this event. Event will be your event 3, and what will be event 1 for the women on Saturday will now become event 3 for the men. But that workout will be 60 cal row for the men, 50 for the women, 50 worm squats, 10 synchronized burpee over worm, 60 box jump overs, back to that synchronized burpee over worm for 10 reps, 50 worm push press. Then you'll finish up with a 60 cal row for the men and 50 for the ladies. Right, so 3, 2, 1, go. You have to be off the machine. You guys can step on once that clock beeps. You'll pull your calories, break it up however you want. Once you're finished, you'll move up to your worm, clean that worm to your shoulder. If you're gonna do all worm squats on one shoulder, you can. If you wanna switch, you can, it's up to you, but you don't have to, right? If I wanna stay with all, one side, I'm more comfortable with my right side, that's completely fine. Just looking for your hip crease to pass below parallel, and you guys are locking out at the top of your squat for full range of motion for that squat. When it comes to synchronized burpee over worm, right, you guys will be one on one side, one on the other. You'll do your burpee, you'll pop up and jump over that worm laterally, right, for that synchronized burpee over worm. Hips and chest to the ground for full range of motion. Once you guys get over, you're good to go for your rep. Then you move to your box. This will be 60 cumulative box jump overs, so one person working at a time. 2 feet takeoff, land on the box with 2 feet, come down. You can either rebound, or if you want to step down, it's your choice. You're welcome to rebound the box jump overs, or you can do kind of the jump up, step down, rotate, jump back over. It's whatever you feel comfortable with, right? And safe with as well. 24 inches for the men, 20 for the women. Once you finish that up, you go back to your burpees, synchronize over worm, pick that worm back up for your push press. We're looking for a press overhead to the shoulder and then back over. You're not required to lock out to full extension. Just make sure that worm is on your shoulder, right, for that rep to count. So if I want to drop the worm after my next rep, I can't just go over my shoulder and just dump that load of the bag, right? I gotta make sure I go to the shoulder, and then I can go down to the ground as far as being done with that rep. So be mindful of that. If for some reason you guys get off, for some reason the person in front maybe is out of sequence, if I'm on my side, my right side, and my partner's on their left side, you have to get the worm on the same side before you guys drop that bag or move again for that rep to count. So be mindful of that as well. All right. So 14-minute cap for the workout, I think it's pretty straightforward, other than maybe the push press if you haven't done those before. We'll have some worms in the warm-up area if you need it. But other than that, I think for the most part, looking for these movements, right? Calorie row, pretty standard, right? Warm squats, just looking for, again, below parallel, lock out. All right, offset on the synchronized burpee over worm. And then for the box jump over is your choice of either cycling them with a rebound, or if you want to step over, step down, after you jump on the box. That is your choice. All right, so 14-minute cap, again, event 1 for the women, event 3 for the men. And then from here, after you finish that, the top 10 teams from the men's division, 10 teams from the women's division will move on to the final event, which will be 2 rope climbs, 40 thrusters, 2 rope climbs, 40 handstand push-ups, 2 rope climbs, and 20 bar muscle-ups for the men, 15 for the women, and 2 rope climbs, and finally finish up with 20 calories on the bike. Right, so that'll be your workout to finish the weekend, 12-minute cap. For your rope climbs, it's a true 15-foot rope climb. You just try to touch the top of the rigging when you get there. That way the judge knows you're the whole way up. That will be the indicator of the rep. You can go 1-for-1 with your partner if you want to. It's your choice. These are traditional rope climbs. For your thruster weight, it's just like your wall balls, pass low parallel, right press or lockout overhead for full range of motion, 95 pounds for the men, 65 for the women. Back to your rope climbs again once more for 2 rope climbs. For your handstand push-ups, we'll have it taped. That way you guys have an indicator of where your hands will be. That way it's not too far out, right? Give you guys adequate distance, but also making sure I'm getting so wide that, you know, we're kind of cheating that range of motion. It's a kipping handstand push-up if you want. You could do strict handstand push-ups if you want. It's your choice. But you'll have a flat surface dollar matting for your head. So it's not a deficit in either direction, right? You're not gonna get any ab mats or anything like that, right? So you can break it up however you'd like. 40 total handstand push-ups. Then you add back to your rope climbs, and then for your, again, muscle-ups, it's bar muscle-ups, 20 reps for the men, 15 for the women. Again, go back and forth as much as you want as far as breaking up those reps. And then again, 1 more set of rope climbs, and then you guys on the bike for 20 calories. That's total, so if one person wants to do all 20 calories, they can. If you want to go 10 and I want to go 10, that's also your choice. It's however you guys want to break it up. Both athletes must run to the finish line again once more to finish out the workout. The last person to cross the line is when that time is going to be stopped. So make sure you guys are both hustling across the line. Right, against top 10 teams for the men, top 10 teams for the women that will move on to do this final event on Saturday. Right, 12-minute cap, get 95 pounds for the men, 65 for the women for that barbell. Should be a nice little sprint to finish out your weekend. Again, after that, we'll have our podium. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. Feel free to email me, or you guys can send out messages, whatever you need. Between now and next week, our athlete control will also have, you know, all the information you might need for these workouts. I'll be running around the back, other judges as well. So if you guys have any questions, by all means, let us know. Super excited to have you guys for year number 10. If you have any questions, let me know. Safe travels. We'll see you guys soon. We're super excited to have, you know, our biggest and best event yet so far for Metcon Rush. We'll see you guys on Saturday.